Hi there, Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video, and welcome to episode 7 of Only One Bosk, where myself, Nick from Only One Kenobi, are going to be going through our top 5 Rogue One and Solo A Star Wars Story figures and card backs. That's how we're going to be doing this episode. So before that, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, all good there. Really enjoyed choosing these. Can't wait to, as ever, because we don't know what we've chosen, find out what you've chosen, what order, where we clash. So awesome. Yeah, brilliant. Some great cards.
And I just said to you off camera that I actually found it quite difficult to pick my top 5 out of these. So I think I just did a little bit of a count. I think there's about 14 Rogue One, and I think there's 5 solos. And to everybody watching out there, we want to know your top 5 in the comment section below. So make sure you do your top 5 in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button as well. And the reason we're putting them together is because there isn't enough solo figures to do a video by itself, because there is only 5. So we are joining them with Rogue One, because Rogue One and Solo are the 2 anthology films outside of the trilogies. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so let's just get on with it, man. Let's do it. Let's have your first one. Have your 5th place.
My first one has been totally influenced by Andor. I've just given it away, haven't I, man? Because this character I love. I've right up there now. He's getting right up there with one of my favorite characters, and this is the Andor, Cassian Andor from Rogue One. It is a nice card back image. It's nice proportion, like mid shot, whatever. You can see not just a headshot kind of thing, if that makes sense. But this is also the UK or European variant, which I had no idea that this was as expensive, just as a little bit of extra. I thought it was only Afra, but this is apparently right up there too, right?
It is, yeah. Well, I believe so, yeah. It's hard, yeah. If you go on eBay and search for what's his name, Cassian Andor Rogue One card, what the VC number, or however you search, virtually all of them have the warning sign on the top right hand corner of the card. It's just quite difficult to get that one. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's as difficult as Afra, but it's certainly one of those ones that's difficult to get. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, again, I was looking at all the cards, and it's amazing how new knowledge of a character sets something off, in your opinion. And I always liked this card, but I put it in my top 5 just from new knowledge about this character and loving that show. And so there he is, and figure's all right. People have said that, well, he could be updated. But it's not the worst facial likeness I've seen on a figure. So that's cool, man.
No, it's a good one. And I'm with you there, mate. I'm absolutely loving Andor.
It's green, mate. Sorry.
It is green as well. Yeah,
it's green. It takes a tin box, man.
Yeah. And as I said, Andor, I'm loving it, mate. Really think it's a great show. Fantastic. Like adult Star Wars. That's, you don't always need lightsabers and Jedis and Siths and for it to be Star Wars. I'm loving the sort of political side of it and the sort of espionage, and you don't really know who's on whose side. Like even like the rebels are sort of very coy with each other, aren't they? Luthen and Saw. It's just it's so good, man. It's
for anyone who says it isn't Star Wars, I find that it is, because it bleeds into all the purest of the pure. And you hope, that whole Rebellion Empire, the classic, the uniforms, everything like that. So it's all feels solid to me.
Right. My 5th place is the only one of these that I have graded. And the reason I got it graded is because it came in a vehicle. So card backs that come in those vehicles, I always tend to sort of, because it's almost like an exclusive. So I get it graded. So it's gonna reflect. But I've gone for Mr. Antok Merrick, and this is one of my favorite characters from Rogue One. Absolutely loved him on screen. He, is just Star Wars. He just looks Star Wars. He could have slotted into A New Hope, no problem at all, with his 70s mustache and whatever. I love the whole sort of blue leader concept. And it's a nice looking card back, decent image of him. They could have chosen a better one, but it will do. And the figure as well. I've got the figure loose here because I've just done my review of the droid. Yeah. And the figure's great as well, man.
Yeah.
Fantastic release in the vintage collection. So he isn't high up in my list, but he makes the top 5.
Good choice. shame though, isn't it, about the car back? Me and you had a different idea for the car back. We wanted to laughing his head off, when he shoots down the ACT. That would have been the best car back. So yeah, he may or may not be on my list. I won't say. But this guy is my fourth place, Lando Calrissian. So it's Solo. But it's funny that I could actually be. This is again a bit like last week when I said that this could be higher in terms of all-time TVC. This is probably one of those images like Cody or that just really smashes it. So it's only in fourth place, but I've put it in fourth because I don't even have the figure loose. I've got the 5POA one, but the 5POA is so like this one anyway. I figured I don't really want the articulated one, but that is a great image. It's the best Solo card I think that they did. It's just so super cool, man, isn't it?
Yeah. I know what you mean. And he's a cool dude, isn't he?
Yeah. Where's my VCX? Yoo-hoo! Brilliant.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
I watched it not long ago. It's good. It's good still. I quite like that film. It's good. Yeah,
I think it's just a fun sort of film. It's don't take it too seriously, basically, I think is the is the thing with that one. Right. My fourth place is Green Name Pill. And it is Mr. Chirrut Imwe. And I'm just wondering if this bubble's starting to this bubble's starting to come away at the bottom.
You're joking.
Not good. Wow. Like when it goes like white and you just know there's no glue on that part of the.
And that's a later release, isn't it? Than say the ones in 2018. Wow.
So that's VC's 174. He had to be in my top for Rogue One. Because I love the figure. I love what you can do with the figure in terms of with his staff and his bowcaster. So you can really sort of create many of his sort of poses that he does in the film. Nice head sculpt on him as well. And I love the card image. That looks to me like it's pretty much straight from the film as well.
Yeah.
Which is obviously something that we like. Fourth place. As I said, I struggled with the ordering of these and some of the ones that I left out as well. I found this quite possibly the most difficult ones that I've had to choose out of all of the series that we've been doing, to be honest, to actually sort of whittle it down, and some had to miss out. But there you go. That's fourth place for me.
It's like that Lando, though, isn't it? As I say, I could have put him way higher than fourth, but it's just I had to boil it down to figure card balance, because I don't have that one loose. That's what put him back. But this is my third place. This is a double for me. Love the card back. Love the figure. When this came out, it was like monumental, really. Although people moaned it didn't have what it needed to be New Hope, but it is the Stormtrooper. And I love that image. The reason I love the image because I saw a lot of customizers at the time, and they had some good takes on what the card back could be. But when Hasbro gave us that, I thought, well done, Hasbro. You've actually beaten the customizers. I hadn't seen an image as good as that before. And that's the one, when he says, "Let them pass in peace." And the kind of Stormtrooper sort of like stands to the side a bit. I think that's kind of where they've got that image. But, the figure, as you know, Tim, is stupendous.
Yeah.
It's the start of greatness for the Stormtrooper, should we say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great choice. I'm not going to spoiler alert if he's in mine or not. So that's your third, right?
The cough you put on the end there, Tim, as well. Yeah, that's my third place.
That's me. Yeah. I always cough. Don't worry about that. Right. So
here he comes, the Stormtrooper. No.
My third place is single name pill. So it's the UK or European version, and it is VC 148, and it is the tank commander, not the tank driver, because I think this image is a much better image. It's funny, isn't it? The tank driver, you just see his head sticking out the thing. You actually see more of the commander. But that image close up there is fantastic. Love it. And I love the figures. I love the design of these guys, the helmet and everything. Something new for Rogue One when we saw these types of troopers. So, that's really the reason why he's in. I just think figure and card back combo, which is what we're basing it on. That's a one that's really high up in my list.
Great.
Third, in fact.
So that's in third. Wow.
Yeah.
And are you ready for my second?
Yeah.
Well, this figure I have loose and I don't. There's my first little clue. Just to confirm to the viewers, Tim, you and I have not discussed our list beforehand. We don't know what we're going to choose.
No.
But I'm really glad that you brought the single pill to this, because I brought down the double just because I thought, well, why not? Because I think of the two, this might be the. Is it? I don't know. Is it rarer, this one? Here he is. So I have single and double for all these.
I honestly don't know. I think the figure in that card back in general is just quite expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to mention when I had him, I do have the double and single for him, and a lot of us do. But that I thought when I was looking at the wall, I just thought I'd grab the double, just thinking, well, you were bound to choose this as well, and I'll get the double. But anyway, don't have it loose. And I had a chat. I nearly went back to Forbidden Planet to buy another to open, but I thought, nah, I'll just use the driver in the commander position. But it's crazy to think that there were loads of these in Forbidden Planet when I nearly went back to buy one, and I could have potentially gone and bought one and opened it. When look what they go for now on the secondary market.
Yeah,
that image, I toyed with the idea of having him in first place because that is such a good.
Oh yeah, this is what I meant by it's really difficult, Like in a minute, once we've finished, we can maybe even talk about honorable mentions, some of the ones that I really wanted in, but some of them are fantastic that I haven't included, man. So you know what I mean? So
but that's why I put him in second, just I put him in second because my first place I have loose and carded, right. Obviously.
Yeah, and I'll have to go back to my review when I did the review of that figure to see which one I opened, whether it's the single or the because I don't know. I have him loose, but I can't remember which card back I opened. So I kept, as you know, I prefer the single name pill just from a cleanliness point of view of how it looks. Not too many words in that name pill. So I'll have to go back to see if it was that one that I opened.
You'd think he would be more valuable, the single, because all the UK ones seem to be more valuable.
Yeah, anyway, they're probably less produced. Yeah, they probably are. Yeah.
Andor, right, for example.
My number 2 is one that you've already had in your list, and it is the Stormtrooper. And I'm going to be quite quick on this one because you pretty much said everything that needs to be said. What a fantastic image. And when this figure came out, we're all very, very pleased because it at the time it was the definitive Stormtrooper. They've improved upon it even more as time's gone on. But yeah, figure and card back combo, man, it's top this one. So not quite top because he's my 2, but yeah, that's number 2 for me.
And he's on red. I mean, though you love green, it would be wrong, wouldn't it, to put him on anything other than red? Yeah. Right. Should we move on? Shall I do number 1?
Yeah, you go for it.
I actually fear that this is your number 1. I think he will be, actually.
I don't think it's going to be, but we'll see.
Oh wow!
Because there's a really good one that I've left out. Just put it that way.
Okay. Well, mine is a green.
Oh, okay. It might be the one I've picked.
I think it is. I think and the reason I've chose this character, and we talked about Chirrut Imwe the other day, didn't we? I still need to open that Chirrut Imwe. And I must, and you've said that, get it open because it's a brilliant figure. This, I almost didn't open this, and you said about this guy. You said get it open, it's brilliant, and it is, isn't it? That is such a good figure. And look at the image, man. That is 100% Star Wars. That in it, a droid, beautifully balanced with the bubble. You know what I mean? The framing of the image, and he's green. And Boss very likes green, so you know what I mean. Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice you've got it. You're holding it up.
I might as well. Yeah, I totally agree with you. This ticks all sorts of boxes, doesn't it? What a fantastic character from the film. He's now in other things as like a regular droid. We saw him. What did we see him in when they're on that scene from on Mandalore? What was that in?
The Night of the Long Knives. Well, you'd think it was Mandalorian, but no, it's Book of Boba Fett. Yeah,
Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, and now we've seen them in Andor as well. We're going to see them some more. The character had humor. amazing design. The figure's great, and yeah, absolutely that image, absolutely fantastic. And that is my number one as well.
Yeah.
Which brings us on to sort of like, you know, what I was mentioning about ones that I left out. You know, like I left out the Death Trooper, man. I mean, what an amazing card back
That is
is that
nice.
with the orange,
Yeah.
you know, explosion going off behind him.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable. I left out Lando, which I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. I didn't pick any solos.
Wow.
I didn't pick the one that I was so close to picking was the Mimbam Stormtrooper, because I love the design. He's got a soft good
But
tape.
kind of fake though, isn't it? It looks
Yeah,
very computer graphics, isn't it?
yeah, it's the card back that lets it down a bit. So it is a bit fake.
But I
I'm just
bet you're one
looking
of
at
your
some of the others.
worst, Tim, if I may just interject. You probably have chosen a solo as your worst, I reckon.
I have.
Oh, you've nodded yet. You spoilers, Tim. You should have kept me hanging on that one.
No,
But
I
anyway,
have, and I know which one you would have picked as well. I think it's like so obvious, like it's one of the worst in the whole line.
no,
Let alone.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you there.
Oh,
I know what you think I might have chosen, but I
okay.
haven't, and I'll tell you why later. If we're talking about the same thing, I'll tell you why I haven't. In fact, I want you to go first for your worst.
Well, I have. Okay, I'll have to put an image up on screen of mine because it's packed away. And do you know what? When I only had to find one figure that's packed away, because I don't have unlimited space on my walls, I have to be quite selective of what I you know, have. So some of the other episodes before, I had to dig out some of the Attack of the Clones figures and stuff like that. All the Rogue Ones are here, but all of my solo figures are packed away.
Right.
And I just couldn't be bothered to get him out. And it is the Han Solo. And
yeah.
I don't.
Oh, I was gonna say. Yeah.
And it's because, I mean, there's nothing too much wrong with the figure really, but it's the card back, man. I hate it. It's dark. It's photoshopped. It's just not a great one. And I think it's personally one of the worst in the whole vintage collection, let alone just solo. So
yeah.
So I picked that as my worst. What did you pick?
Well, do you know what I like about that card though? I couldn't put it worse because I know what you mean. It's a terrible CG, whatever, they fake photoshopped it or whatever, but because you can see the cockpit of the Falcon, that's a hook for me. I love that. But I have put, and since you're putting images on the screen, Tim, I'm hoping that in post-production, boom, you could maybe put an image up. Maybe not now, because you don't know what I'm talking about yet. But I'll show you what my worst is. Hang on, sorry, Tim, going off track here. I'm hoping you'll be able to put up an image of what this card back should have looked like. But I put her. Oh, it's a bit of a spoiler there. I put her as last because it's a beautiful figure, this as well. But purely because this card back really annoyed me, I put Emperor's Nest as my last, my least favorite, because it could and should have been an epic card back, a bit like that tank commander. You know, you get that lovely angle. You know when Emphas is facing them off on Sabarine, and you see her
at the end in the desert
trailer,
bit,
that could have been the card back of all card backs, but instead you got that PlayStation 2 crap, whatever that is, and that's why I'm making a protest and putting it in my list.
Whoever did that one did the Range Trooper one as well. The Range Trooper, like again, great figure, but again, it's just like it with this snowy thing going on, and it's just do you
remember at the time we were saying, well, why are they so bad? Is it because the film hadn't come out and they were mocking stuff up, or it's terrible?
Possibly, possibly.
What's going on there?
But I mean, I can see why you've chosen that. I mean, the solo one for me, I don't know, it's just a bit boring, isn't it? A boring card back. But
do you want to know what was also maybe going to be my worst? I potentially had the tank driver up for that because it's such a confusing card back. It's a lovely figure though. I couldn't put it in my but because you don't know what you're looking at and you're seeing the commander more than say the head of the driver. But it'd be rude to put that as last because it's such a good figure.
And there was a couple that I thought you may have included in your list by going by comments that you've made about card backs on other. I think it was the Naboo pilot. There's like an explosion going off behind, and you quite like that.
Yeah.
There's actually two that do that. There's the Rogue One Vader and the Rogue One Rebel Fleet Trooper. They're both quite nice card backs, aren't they? So
they are nice.
And the Death Trooper, that was the one for me. I was like, do I have the Death Trooper?
Wow.
Or whatever I had in my fifth place. I think it was Antok, but I had to pick Antok just because we asked for this figure for so long, didn't we?
We did.
We wanted him so bad.
Not that image though.
And they did it. Sorry, no,
Not
no,
that
not
image.
That
That's what irks me about that one a bit.
but they did such a great job with the actual figure. Then, so
yeah, I can't believe what I've just said. I said about the figure. I couldn't put the driver in last place because it's such a good figure. But then again, how dare I put Emphas Nest in last place because that is a really good figure. You know, it's a lovely one of her. But still, that was just the way the cookie crumbled. Just down to the card backs again. You know.
Right, well, that's great. I mean, I thought this was a really interesting list this time. As I said before, I struggled a little bit with this because there is a lot of good ones. I've mentioned a couple there which could have got in other people's lists, and that's why we want the viewers of this video to comment down below with their lists, because we're always interested in seeing what they would pick. But I want to thank you again for joining me once again, Nick. We'll have to think about what we'll do next. I kind of want to. I kind of almost want to leave out the sequel trilogy completely, or just leave it till last. I'm not sure if anyone will watch it.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there. There's some nice images and cards and figures and bloody blah. So I do look forward to that one. You know, yeah.
I think the Clone Wars will be a good one. So we'll have to we'll have a talk in the week to see which one we'll do for next week. But yeah, on that note, just want to thank everybody for watching. As always, drop a like down below if you have enjoyed the video. Let us know your top 5s down below, and also thank you once again, Nick, for joining me. Love doing these videos with you, buddy. Cool, and thanks everyone for watching, and we shall see you on the next one.